Advanced, ready? Yeah. Math. Oh, no, I like to do it.
Trying to log on to the meeting.
All right. What? I pledge allegiance to the flag. And to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome everybody here this morning. Do I have approval of the agenda? Yes. All in favor? Aye. Great. Do I have approval of the minutes from the January 5th, 2026 meeting?
Yes.
Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. The business this morning, the zoning use variance request public hearing. Opening sub resub block 3738. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So move. Oh, second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
So the hearing is now open.
Could solicit comment. We've got two letters we received. We'll read those aloud, but anyone present who wishes to be heard, Josh, we want to do them one at a time, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, go first. Okay. I'm sorry, this is the first meeting I've attended, so I wasn't sure what the protocol was. I'm Kathy Williams. I represent Likewise Academy in North Judson Stampere School District. We are looking at a property in Huberty subdivision that Larry and Debbie Waffle are interested in purchasing to donate to us to build the school building for Likewise. I've got a couple pictures of options that we're looking at, just so that you have an idea of what kind of building we're looking at. Just so I'm shaking a little bit.
So nervous.
Just as a little bit of a background, Likewise Academy is an organization out of Ohio. We teach Bible during public school hours to public school kids. In North Judson, what we're doing is we are taking the kids during their library time, so they aren't missing any core classes. And in fact, they return to the library at the end of their class and still have time to check out books. So currently we're in grades 1 through 4. We started in September of this school year. And currently we have 90 students enrolled. We started with 38 and now we're at 90, which is at about 40% of enrollment of grades 1 through 4. Next year, our plan is to add middle school, and the third year, we want to expand to high school. So this is a program that will be ongoing. Right now, our classes are held down the street in the front room, and we are paying to use that space. It's an ideal space for now, but we see us being a permanent solution to the students in North Judson, offering them character education through the Bible, biblical teaching. And we just have a fun 30 minutes with the kids, teaching them the Bible. We're starting with Genesis 1:1, going all the way through Revelation. It is a 5-year plan, but we can also condense it to 2 or 3 years, depending on the grade level when the kids start. So, because of this, we would really like to have a permanent location. Right now at the front room, while it is ideal, every weekend we have to tear down all of our equipment, put everything away, and then set it up again. This morning we'll be setting it up again. So we would really like to see a permanent location, and the farm ground over by Hubany subdivision is just ideal because it's right there with the school. We would like to be as close in proximity to the school as possible. And so that is what we're looking at. We need to have it zoned commercially. I can stop talking if you have any questions.
No.
Or I could keep going.
Yeah.
I could talk all day. Likewise, it has been my and my husband Mike is the teacher. He's a volunteer teacher. It has been our passion for the past few months, and while we're retired, we don't see us ever completely retiring from likewise. We have plans for the future. We're always thinking ahead. Who else can be? Who else has that passion? Loves God and loves the children of the community. The children of the community are our future, and they need to understand and know God's love and what they can grow from that. So, any question?
How many hours per day does a student spend?
Right now, with grades 1 through 4, we're there Monday through Friday from 10 o'clock till 2:30.
Is your school accredited by the state of Indiana?
No, it is not an accredited curriculum. The curriculum we use is made by the Gospel Project, an organization, and we follow that curriculum, but it is not accredited. However, when we get to the high school level, we do offer accredited courses, and we even have an AP course through Ohio Christian University. So they have the opportunity to earn high school credits and college credit.
And the students that are going, it's all volunteer.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Jeff. It is parent permitted and privately funded. We are privately funded, parent permitted, and the school is just really being gracious and working very closely together with us.
This is grades 1 through 4.
This year, yes. We're actually hoping to introduce the 5th graders before the end of the school year, but definitely next year, the whole middle school is our plan. But that would only change our hours to be earlier. More than likely, we would have to start by 8 o'clock right after the school starts. So, middle school.
One of the
So-
reasons that the schools like the program is because of the character qualities that are instructed. And they see that it's a statistically noted difference in schools when they see these character qualities in the kids.
Yeah, you might add how many local volunteers, and it is non-denominational.
Yes, right now we have 14 volunteers. We have strict guidelines before the volunteers can work with the children. They have background checks done, and they have required courses that they have to complete, one of which is child abuse mandatory reporting. We follow all the same guidelines that public school does as far as that's concerned. We lock the doors when the children arrive, so nobody can enter unless they have rearranged it with me. I have to approve anybody that does come in. So the children remain safe, and we have, let's say, we have a 14 passenger bus right now, and we have approved drivers for that bus. And we go pick up the kids, we check into the office, we have very strict procedures that we follow. We sign into the office so that they know we're there. We go to the classroom and wait for the time to come when the teacher releases the kids. And we get on the bus. With it being a 14-passenger bus, they do have to buckle in. They have seatbelts. With the big bus, they don't do the seatbelts. We are looking probably for a bigger bus because we're starting to explode in numbers. So we need that larger bus, but I am always looking for new volunteers, and right now I'm onboarding 2 new ones. So they can rotate as necessary. So we have, like I said, everybody has been approved. They can't work with the children until they have passed all these protocols.
Questions for, yeah. Anybody else? Joe Hall.
Yeah, thank you. I would like to hear what the 2 letters that he received, what they say. And the other thing that concerns me is that I wanted to stay residential. And I understand from the notice that's to stay residential, but you just said it had to be zoned commercially.
Because it isn't a residential home. It will look like a home. I'll share that with you. Like there's 2 different pictures of what other Lifeways academies are. The second one is actually just down the road at West Central in Francis.
Like you said.
Yeah. And but the reason it has to be commercial is because it won't be anybody living there. It won't be a residential home.
So will the whole lot 37 and 38 be zoned commercial or just which one are you talking about? 37 or 38?
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for, is to grant a variance, a use variance on that property just for this. So any other part of the property would still be residential. Would just be this, that would be a variance from residential to allow this.
All right, at the east side of the property.
That's my understanding of it.
We don't know.
We're not
Yeah.
sure yet.
Gotcha.
We don't know if to divide it from east to west or north to south.
So, yeah, and I
Yeah, cool.
talked with, because of the way they're oriented to, it's oriented in an odd way. But it would be, if the property would stay residential, the variance would just grant just the erection of that on, I assumed, the east side of that property because of, and this is just me, I'm not on the BZA, but because it's nearest the school and it fits in proximity, yeah. But you could divide that property, you could, through the county offices, the deed to the property, rewrite the deed in a way that you have the 2 lots. Basically, the 2 lots that are there would split in half, and the 2 nearest to Joan, if that was the 2, those would remain residential, and it would be 2 home lots, just the same size as Joan's, basically.
There's the school, you can't put your building on the school property because they're.
You have to be within 5 minutes of this.
And you could find a place closer to the school that would be, they could walk across the street.
Oh, believe me, I tried and I would love that.
Property, yeah.
I'm sure at the beginning, when we were looking for a location, we did check with the Lutheran school, the church,
Yeah.
and had a lot of conversations with Pastor Dan. And he would love to accommodate us, but they are exploding in enrollment, which is awesome. We're all doing the same thing. We're on the same page.
Concept is good,
Yeah, yeah.
It is your property.
You can keep that if you'd like to.
And then I guess the question I know that a lot of people always ask is if there is a variance granted for this, people always are concerned, say Lifewise doesn't come in. Now this opens it up for someone else to come in. This would just be a one-time use variance only for Lifewise, that if this Lifewise Academy did not happen, that nobody else can move in and put up a 7-Eleven. So I know that's all.
After Lifewise, it reverts to residential, it doesn't stay, yeah.
So you guys aren't really sure how you're gonna chop this up, for lack of a better term. I mean, it's either, you're not sure if it's gonna be the east side or the west side right now.
If we were dividing it, I would choose the closest to the school, which would be the
East
east
side.
side, correct?
Which way would this, like the front doors to this building, would they be off of Campbell or would they be off Division?
I would have it facing Campbell.
Which
Uh,
day?
Campbell.
Yeah.
So the visibility, you know,
No, I
driving past the school, the visibility.
Curious.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess before we read the letters, anybody else? You have any other questions?
You know, this is your buddy neighbor on the mission. If you were to take that part, or I mean, off of you, sorry. Go ahead, Shelley. You're on speaker.
Oh, where did they say where they were gonna access it from? Is it? Off of
So I guess your parking lot, where would that be? Yeah.
Well, we haven't really determined that yet.
Okay.
My vision for it would be entering off of the side street, and I don't know what street that is.
Division.
Is that Division? Thank you. That was what my vision was, but honestly, we haven't talked to contractors yet, and it depends on the location that we are given for the variance.
Did you say they're only using half of the property or the whole thing?
We're looking at the whole property, and if we used the whole property, we would center it on that. And in which case, see, there's still a lot of
Measurements, A lot of
unknowns.
measurements, right? For the building size, or
Yeah,
lot division.
initially, the size of the building would not be any larger than 1,500 square feet. More than likely, it'd be about 1,000 square feet to begin with future hopes of adding on.
Cause like, one of my concerns would be, especially if a lot of it ends up parking lot, is that runoff from that coming into my yard, cause I'm right next to that field. I have a nice big garden there, and I don't want all the, you know, no matter what you do, cars leak oil, gas, all that kind of stuff. I don't want that running into my garden.
There won't be a lot of vehicles using the parking lot. We would only have like however many volunteers are there, and most of our volunteers come together. So there would never be more than 3 or 4 vehicles in the parking lot at the same time.
Quality vehicles.
What?
Quality vehicles that don't leak, I would say.
Well, yeah, you never know, but
Yeah, I still worry if it's all asphalt, that, you know, maybe I'll have trouble with some of my yard drainage and stuff, cause I mean, the water table, I think, is halfway high over there, so.
I really don't anticipate this being any different from a home being built there. The traffic won't be any different from if it were a home being built there, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand your concerns and I appreciate your interest.
Do you anticipate it being gravel, basically, the parking lot? Who is this?
I would anticipate at the beginning for affordability that it would be gravel for affordability, because we probably will be pinching pennies to get this done and waiting for donations. I would love for it to be concrete or asphalt eventually, but that's not going to happen at the beginning.
You good, Shelley?
I think so.
Thanks for your
Thank
question.
you. We appreciate your interest.
Who was it?
Shelley, Cole. Cheryl Rollers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
I
If we on favor.
Deb?
We can add anything.
I've got
Can you
some
add
questions.
anything?
No.
This is classified as an educational institution, correct?
Correct.
You have to go through the state to meet certain specifications to erect this facility according to their guidelines?
That is a good question. I'm not really sure, but I can find that out.
I'll tell you where I'm coming from. When we put the addition on at the Lutheran area, we had to go through the state. And we had to meet their requirements. I
don't think we have to, since we are an accredited educational institution.
Profit organization.
Yeah, it's a
I
non.
don't know, that's question that's hanging,
Yeah.
we don't have an answer
Yeah,
for. I would hate to see you build and then come to find out it's not in compliance with certain things.
one of the things that I appreciate about LifeWise is they've already worked out all those details and share them with us. We don't have to rewrite the plans. They are providing that help to
Mhm.
us. And we will establish our own 501(c) when we build this, and the building will belong to LifeWise North Judson Sam Kier. It will not belong to the major organization of LifeWise. It will belong to us locally, our own organization. So I will find that out, Jerry, but I really don't think that we have to follow the state educational guide.
Cause I can tell you, one thing we run into, they said, no, that has to be a hallway of 12 feet.
Oh,
Yeah.
mm,
You know, that
Yeah.
was just the case of the school because of
Right.
the size of our edifice.
Right.
That may not apply to a smaller facility.
and just having we visited the West Central location when we were exploring this. And it's a small building. It's not, there's definitely not a 12-foot long hallway in there, anything.
Yeah, well, I think in a building like this, you would have to worry about a 12, but,
Mm-mm.
okay.
It'll be basically one classroom. It would be like a classroom the size of this room.
Yeah, because the minimum square footage for a public classroom is 900 square feet, which is 30 by 30. Strictly classroom.
Yeah.
You have to remember, one of the things I'm driving at.
Yeah,
You have to have all your restroom facilities and
Mhm.
everything else, the heating,
Right.
air conditioning, so forth.
Yeah. One of the things that we will do when we start pursuing bids, we will establish our own board. Right now, we have a leadership board that we work together. Karen is one of the members of the board. But we will establish a second board strictly for the building process. I guess I shouldn't name names of who I'm going to reach out to. You would all know them, but I haven't spoken to them yet. They will be people involved in the community, very familiar with the process of building in town. So we will have people with knowledge of all of the building process working on this for us. I will not be the lead person because I'm not very familiar with all of these things. I will be a contact person. So, yeah. I will check into that. So.
You want me to read
Yeah,
you want to
sure, go right ahead.
So we did have two letters that came in here. And the first one is from Wendy Fost and Doug Wiley. You guys got them in your back, right? Yeah. Dear board members, thank you for allowing us to submit this letter as we both work today and are unable to attend in person. We would like to start out by stating that we do not oppose the intended program in which the petitioners are asking a zoning variance for. With that being said, we do strongly oppose a zoning variance to allow a commercial building to be built in a neighborhood full of single-family homes, which is what belongs in the area and what it was always intended for. We urge you to deny the variance request and uphold the current zoning regulations that protect the neighborhood. Thank you for your time and serious consideration of this matter. Wendy Forbes and Doug Wiley. That entered into the record.
Yes.
The next letter To the members of the Board of Zoning Appeals, our names are Mackenzie and Teddy Biancotti, and we reside at 6221 South Ducany Street, directly across the street from the parcel currently under consideration for rezoning or special use approval, as shown in the attached image. Our home is indicated by the blue marker, and the subject parcel is circled. We understand that a proposal is being considered to allow a church or institutional use on this property. While we respect the role of religious and community organizations, we are writing to formally express concerns regarding the compatibility of this proposed use with the surrounding residential neighborhood, particularly with respect to traffic, safety, and long-term impacts. This area is a residential neighborhood with no other commercial or institutional businesses located within it. The addition of a new institutional use would introduce increased traffic volume, parking demand, and pedestrian activity into the streets that were designed and are currently used primarily for local residential access. Additionally, there is already a middle/high school located directly across the street, which significantly increases traffic during the school, arrival and dismissal times, sporting events, and extracurricular activities. In the afternoons, cars are lined up along Campbell Drive during the school pickup times, creating congestion and limited visibility. Allowing additional traffic into the area would further compound these conditions and raise concerns about car accidents and pedestrian safety, especially during overlapping peak periods. The presence of the school also means there is a higher concentration of children and teenagers in the area throughout the day, including students walking, jogging, riding bicycles, and operating golf carts. Because of these existing conditions, we have serious concerns that adding another destination-based use to this location would create compounded traffic and safety risks for residents and students alike. We respectfully ask the board to consider whether the proposed use is appropriate within an otherwise residential neighborhood, how the increased and overlapping traffic will be safely managed, what protections will be put in place for pedestrian and child safety, and whether the limits or conditions will be imposed regarding parking, hours of operations, lighting, and future expansion. Our intent is not to oppose community institutions in general, but to ensure that any permanent land use change is carefully evaluated for safety, compatibility, and long-term impact on nearby residents. Thank you for considering these comments as part of the public record. Respectfully, Mackenzie Biancotti and Teddy Biancotti.
Can I address some of this?
Certainly.
We aren't introducing additional children. You know, we are picking up the kids from the school and bringing them over to the LifeWise class. And the number of people that are always present, it's the same people. So for instance, today, when we begin our classes, we have a married couple coming in as volunteers, and they will be there all day. So there will be their car, Mike's car, and the bus. Those are the numbers of vehicles. And we are going to, well, we're making about 12 trips back and forth to the school because of the multiple classes. The most classes we have in a day right now are 3, but we hope to expand to 4 classes per day. So that means the back and forth trips. As far as pedestrians, we won't be walking, even though we'll be close to the middle school. We'll have the transportation, so there won't be any additional walking. What else?
That will end before the end of the school day.
Yes, we return the children back to their classes before the buses are ready to take the kids home. So we are adding additional numbers. We're just moving them around, just like, you know, when I'm going up to the school today, we'll be behind another bus moving kids from the elementary going to the high school for a swimming class. So we're just mixing right in with the school. We're just blending right in with them. We're not adding to any chaos, if you will. Would you have something?
Well,
to
the
add?
traffic pattern is the same as the school. They're not picking up kids at Likewise school. They'd be picking them still. We take them back there at the end of the day. But the traffic is still at the school, not at Likewise, so to speak.
Any questions in regarding one or two letters?
Only a couple things that things should be checked into. Number one, do they need state approval? You bring up a good point there. And the environmental concerns, if there's gonna be runoff, it could do damage to somebody else's property. I think that should be addressed or checked into at least, find out what it is.
And I was gonna say that, well, we have the public hearing's been scheduled and all that. If there's due diligence on the part, the way the BZA works is you can create sort of stipulations. Only use the east half of the property, the other half needs to be, made ready for residential, or, facing this way, facing that way. That's all in your guys' hands. So if you're unable to, however you want to make that decision, it's up to you guys. But if you need to go look at the site, whatever, we don't have to rush. This is just a public hearing. I know that people probably have timelines they want, but it's entirely in your guys' hands how you orient. If there was some variance granted, just to reiterate, it's entirely in your hands how you time frame requirements, because we don't do a lot of these. So it's one of those things, like, we don't have a whole lot of variance requests. We had 2 this year, which blows my mind. It's a great thing. It's wonderful, but it never happened. So we want to make sure, our I's are dotted, all those things. So in your guys' hands, just know you don't have to rush to, it's up to you guys though.
And I think some of the concerns about drainage aren't really a concern with a project like this as any home. We've got engineered plans. There's an engineered plan for drainage, runoff, the way they're tying into sewers, water lines, everything like that. So I feel it just
They have to follow, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they have to follow. the
state
town.
code. Yes,
Yeah.
town and state code. So I mean, it'd be no different than anything else.
And the fact of the matter is, there won't be more cars there than there is at many residential homes.
And the look of it, the look is something too. You could stipulate, oh, it needs to fit in with the surrounding, that kind of thing. That's in your guys' hands. So.
Debbie looked up for me about permits, and generally for a nonprofit building in Indiana, we do need permits, but they would be for local building units, not state level inspection permits. However, we will need state registration for tax exemptions and fundraising and things like that. But we will definitely follow all of the guidelines that are required of us, and we will do all of that research, due diligence before we begin any project. This is just step one. This is the very first step.
We all want our neighbors happy with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We all agree on that.
Yeah.
We explored other properties in town at all.
From the get-go, all summer, I drove around North Judson looking like, oh, that might work, or that might work. And when I drove, sorry, I get emotional about this. When I drove around the school praying, God, where should we have this? And honestly, I stopped in front of that lot and I'm like, they're farming. They're still farming this lot. You stop pushing it. I said, like, me. And any nonprofit, you talk to people, you meet with people because we're fundraising. And Debbie and Larry are good friends of ours. And I asked Debbie, can we meet for coffee? I want to talk to you about Likewise. And I shared my vision of, in the future, I see us building a building over there on that farm property. I think that is just the perfect location. And I don't know how well you know Debbie, but Debbie's like, oh, let me look. Think we property. I'm like, no way. So she's looking it up and she immediately said, we can buy that property and donate it to Lifewise.
Not quite that easily.
You said it, but.
You guys go like this or anything.
Debbie's on the spot now.
I have driven around North Judson, and like Mike said, we have to be within a 5-minute drive because our window of opportunity closes if it's any
Right
longer.
now, Kern's own it.
Yes, Antonio.
Which is interesting because when my husband and I wanted to buy that property, first husband, and put a modular home on there. Rusty would not sell it to us because he said he did not want that quality of house on that property.
Things change.
He must have changed his mind.
Yeah.
He's desperate to sell it, I guess.
No, he's not. We approached
No,
him
yeah, I
and the
spoke to
price
them.
is not a bargain at all.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But I did call Rusty Kearns, who owns the property, and he was just really happy to know how that property was gonna be used.
Sure, yeah. No question about the quality of what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
I would be on the east side.
Yeah, I understand.
So it's still a residential house to be built.
Yeah.
But now, if it has to be commercial, does the county have to approve that?
No,
No.
just a town.
And actually, the town, we purchased some right-of-way property on that property, because I don't know if you all know this, but we are doing a sidewalk project through there.
Oh, I
So there's gonna be a pedestrian crossing going right there at the corner of the junior high. That's all gonna be new sidewalk, crossing the street to that side of Campbell. And it's gonna be running all the way down to John Street, and then John Street, Hubeney Street, Division Street, and Liberty Street are all getting sidewalks on one side of the road to.
Yeah.
Oh.
That would be like
That's amazing.
To help connectivity. That's part of our large ADA plan.
Yeah. I read the minutes, last week on Facebook. So, yeah, that's amazing. Joan, can I also say, I definitely appreciate your concerns. And as I'm picturing the building, if we were to take up that whole lot, that building would still be really far from your house because you would just have the side yard of the building facing you. And like Debbie said, we want our neighbors to be happy, so we will landscape it. And I already have a couple people in mind to make sure the yard is mowed and kept up. Those things are very important to us as well. And I would make sure that in the future that is maintained. We want to be a welcome part of this community, and we want to make sure that.
Because my other concern would be that how is that gonna affect the value of my house? Will it go down or, stay the same or what, that's things like that, because people.
What are the dimensions? Just maybe they got said earlier.
What or what?
What would the dimensions be of?
We don't know for sure, but based on the pictures that I shared with you, that one on the top, the dimensions were, I think, 30 by square feet, 50. Actually,
That's fine. Yeah, I just.
yeah,
30 wide.
30 by 50 is the largest one on that front page there.
Joe or Andrew, you guys got any questions?
Just that it's, it all depends on your guys's how it's oriented, how it, stipulations around vegetation, whatever. It's in your guys' hands. To make those certain requests. Timeframes, another thing is another one too. Because we get in some cases where we have projects that drag on. We don't expect that in this case at all, but
What is your construction timeline?
Well, we have fundraising to do. My hope would be this summer to begin the project. that is my hope. And like I said,
Realistically,
pardon me,
realistically this summer? Hope or reality?
my hope.
No guarantee.
Fundraising. People have been amazing already and have exceeded my expectations. But there's going to be a lot more that we need to. So realistically, it might not happen until 2027.
But it will remain as is farmed until that time.
You guys got any more, anything else?
Yeah, well,
Right now, it's residential, right? Right now, it's residential, not agriculture.
Yeah, we don't have an agricultural.
zoning, no.
No, those are.
1.7 acres or whatever it is, 1.7 acres. Yeah. So I guess one of the challenges we have is annexing property. So to me, it's tough finding infill housing is what we've been all about recently. And we have the luxury of having some developing that over here in Franklin on the highway by the park. And so, yeah, this is one of those lots and it's always been a sort of like, wow, that'd be great to put housing on the south side next to the school with all that. So I guess if there was the best of all worlds for everyone involved to see some residential in there too, if that's a possibility down the line. I know Debbie mentioned that as well. And that's in the application as well, that if it's the other half of it or whatever. But they're not, we're not making any new land in town. It's tough to annex. They make it really hard. So if just a thought towards you guys, infill is an important part of developing our town. So if there's a way everybody wins.
Yeah, I mean, that was sort of the call I got yesterday. Was, they wanted to see houses. Now I'm not sure they saw that.
And that's another thing is the stipulation is, the look of it needs to blend in with surrounding homes, that kind of stuff. That's sort of what the BZA could set those requirements, which I don't have that image, so I can't see it. But if that's, where your guys' head was at already, then it makes sense. Or then that, it's not necessarily a negative that is going to detract from property to property.
I mean, my opinion is always, anytime we're taking a piece of property that's been farmland for years and we're gonna develop it and get water sewer rates coming in, that's always a benefit to the town, so.
Is there anybody else have any comments, John?
No.
Gary? Anybody else out there have any?
John, I'll just make a comment that I farm an acre of ground in town. You know how inconvenient that is. Basically, I'm doing the town a favor because now you don't have to mow to keep 10-foot tall weeds from obstructing views through there or looking.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah.
So I appreciate Joe's comment about, here we go, sewer income for the town, development. I look at it as all a good thing.
Serving children.
Well, that's
Well, we
I
don't know.
was gonna say it. Everybody agrees with that. Nobody.
Yes, you guys don't have any questions, why I need a vote to close the public hearing.
So move. Second.
All in favor? Aye. So our choices are, once you get Andrew,
So on this end, approved, and that's the third option is approve with stipulation. So there's approve, deny, or approve with requirements, I guess you could say. Or just not a blanket, yep, here you go, put it anywhere on the property you want. That's where it's in your hands to sort of stipulate what why we why the use variance is the thing is that so that the town can sort of control our own destiny as far as what's filled in that infill. We want to infill places so you control your own destiny as far as the future as well. It remains residential with a use variance request by a charitable philanthropic entity. Then you can make it flat approval, flat denial, or approval with here are the stipulations. Yeah. So that put that in your hands.
The middle school property on town and within town, city
Yeah.
limits, the middle school property is.
Yeah.
Or is that county, city?
It's now,
County's
yeah,
on the south side, across the ditch.
That's
That's
a middle
close.
school property.
yeah, it
Middle
is.
school.
Yeah. And
That's-
Did it
The
It's
middle
town.
school is
Well,
in town.
as far as the GIS, everything else on our map
Yeah.
says it is. I thought there was some that it didn't get recorded or something along those lines.
That, because I remember when
Yeah,
that went through even when I was on town board, but.
yeah,
So the
That's been a long
properties,
time.
Right.
Ditch had to be moved.
Yeah, I-
The north-south ditch had to be moved to come in compliance.
Mm.
that was.
Mm. yeah, because there was a few of those that were enacted upon. There was a resolution, all those things, but it didn't get sent over to the county, so it never got recorded. I believe the issue we had was somebody wanted to go in Judson Pack, and Judson Pack was left out of town.
Judson Pack is left out of town.
Yes, but everything else from the GIS, our corporate boundaries, what it shows on there, it's all in town. The school system at least is in town. And we don't see the development of that property taxes. We don't see that anyway, but
so south of Campbell,
south of Campbell,
how far?
that corner there is odd. There's a
Like
where the
Bell
middle
House is.
school curve is there, where you go into the middle school, that's your point where you're in and out.
Those farm fields are
Out.
Oh.
Yep, but the school
Yeah.
property is in, like how that sort of peninsula is in.
Doesn't that property tear that down to the size.
Yeah.
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 I won't argue that.
Mhm.
That's important.
Set and visit on this one.
Is that what you wanna do?
Yeah, I think so.
We can reschedule and get Isaiah back here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, our requirements met, our public hearing's
Yeah.
been met, so, yeah, and we could even try to schedule it later in the week, even, Thursday morning, Friday morning. It's up to you guys. We can come back. Go take a look at the property, it's up to you. I'm not sure, I know Isaiah said he was
John?
not available this morning.
Put in restrictions or anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want say set a date to reconvene, but.
Yeah, Thursday or Friday this week even, if that gives you enough time, or we could.
Yeah, because we don't want. I mean, they want us, they want an answer.
Yeah, we're not, yeah, absolutely. That's why I say, that's the soonest we could meet would be Thursday morning at this point. So that's why I say Thursday or Friday.
Thursday, either day works for me, so it's up
Okay.
to.
15th.
If either date works for you guys, then we'll just hinge it on what Isaiah's availability is. Yeah,
Time doesn't, I mean, you wanna, is
we could do 8 AM again.
that what you want?
Sure.
What do you guys want?
When's that, Thursday?
Thursday, yeah, or Friday, either one. Yeah, because that way we're not dragging out beyond this week.
Yeah, I don't wanna.
Try to wrap it up this week for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Thursdays.
Yep.
Thursday's fine, we can, everybody can do their due diligence and,
Did you
Yeah.
possibly do Friday? Or are you busy on Friday?
As long as everybody's good either way.
it's up to these.
Yeah,
I am open Friday, it would be up to
Okay.
you guys.
Yeah. I might not get it scheduled.
And I would love to attend. If there's more questions, I have an
Sure.
appointment Thursday morning at 8:30.
okay, gotcha. Well, then we can shoot for Friday.
So
Yeah, we
Friday
can shoot
morning
for
would be-
Friday. Yeah, we
You
want you guys here for sure.
That
Yeah,
is
just
what
for the
was
sake of
okay.
8 o'clock or
input and
8:30.
questions, 8 AM.
8 AM is eight's fine by me if it's fine by you guys. So I
Yep.
don't care.
That's what I sent to Isaiah, see if he's available.
On Friday. Hopefully Friday morning's a little more flexible.
Friday.
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 I'll put it in that then.
And if something happens, at least we can, let Isaiah, our other member of this, let him know. And
If you still have open.
we still have a majority. He could take a look at our stream of the meeting and at least provide an opinion on the matter as a BZA member. So
Okay.
whether he's here to vote on it or not.
Right.
You say
We can-
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Then would you still have the meeting on the 19th? It could still,
No, actually, once the BZA makes a decision, then it'll be final. So that's that.
oh, you don't have.
Yeah, the count, no, it's just things where it's a learning curve here on all the ins and outs of these variances. The planning commission side, if there's a change of zoning, which is why special use variances, it's a lot of more benefits to them as far as versus a wholesale change of zoning. Is that BZA has final say on it. Yeah, planning commission, like we have to zone the property we annexed in 24 and we're finishing that up now, and it had to go through much like this public hearing and all through rounds of input, but it ultimately ends up in the council's hands versus the BZA. They make the ultimate call.
Okay, so we've got that for Friday the 16th at 8 AM. Is there any additional business deemed necessary? John, you got anything else you want to say?
No, no,
Gary?
no.
No, I don't either. Need a motion to adjourn.
So, second.
All in favor?
Aye.